I don't want nothing to do with it though. Bitch, I got time, baby, I got the most. I don't got nothing to do anymore.
What up, guys? This is the Cyelee Optics CAT0 review. I've been shooting it for about a year. I bought it in December 25th, 2024. It's currently March 2026 as I'm making this video, so just over a year. I've been carrying it essentially every day, training with it as much as possible. You know, dry fire, live fire, change the batteries like 3 times. So I've been using it. You know, it's been on. It's been moving around. It's been shot. It's worn. And the screws have held up. The optic itself is still emitting. There's a massive issue with it, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But I just want to talk about my experience with the optic, talk about the price point, talk about if you should buy this at MSRP, you know, and talk about why I think optics like this are kind of a problem. And we're going to talk about the sunken cost fallacy. So let's get right into it. And before we start, I have the merch down in the description. I have my Instagram in the description. I appreciate if you guys aren't following me on Instagram, you drop a follow, check out my merch, got the podcast, I got all that stuff. All the links are down below, so check that out. Cyelee Optics CAT0, been shooting it a year, maybe just shy of 1,000 rounds. So the optics, it's held up and it's held 0 so far. But the main issue is just through carrying the optic and using it and moving around, the button that increases the brightness is fucking broken. So if I push the decrease brightness button, I will no longer have an optic that is turned on. So that is kind of an issue, because if you're bumping into anything, if you're a right-handed shooter, the side of the optic with the decreased brightness is away from you, which is fine in the sense that I'm not all the way accidentally pressing the increased brightness button, I guess, but the decreased brightness button can be accidentally pressed, and I run the optic on the maximum brightness. You know, for some people maybe they don't feel like that's an issue, but for me, I mean, I have an optic mounted, the button doesn't work, they want to warranty the optic. I don't want to do that. It's a $150 optic. You guys can probably understand where I'm going with the sunken cost fallacy, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But before we talk about that, there's other options. You know, $225 on Bass Pro, you can get the 407K. There's, you can go on the used market, there's tax swap, there's eBay, there's other ways of procuring a pistol optic. So, you know, really my question is, and before we talk about the sunken cost, what is the point in buying an optic, you know, like this, where it's, you know, kind of an off-brand? We're not really getting a lot of, you know, I mean, obviously I could send the optic back and they'll probably send me a new one, but what do I do with my gun that I'm supposed to defend myself with while I'm waiting? That type of thing. So if this is for, you know, a gun that you don't use for your self-defense and it's just a plinking toy and whatever, that's cool. But if you own guns to defend yourself and you know, are on a tight budget and you think, oh, maybe I'm going to save, you know, whatever it is, almost $100 or $120. At the end of the day, the Holosun optic, a lot of these other optics, they have a proven name behind them. And they're going to have, even if they are both coming from China, I think one of them is going to have more longevity. One of them is going to have more quality assurance. And that's really in quality control. And that's what we're going for when we're buying these products that are for this intended purpose of, you know, training, but also for self-defense. So really that's kind of my review. And the sunken cost fallacy is just that once you get into, like, once you put some amount of effort or money, or, you know, you repair something and you repair it again and you repair it again, there's an incentive to keep repairing it, even though you should probably just get a new one at a certain point. And I want you guys to avoid that with your gear. Like, don't let stuff box you in and think like, oh, like this sucks, let me just keep using it because I don't know what, like, explore the other options. There are other options out there. So yeah, that's basically my review. CAT0 is 150 plus shipping, but 225 on Bass Pro for the 407K. At least that was when I did the research for this video. So, but prices like that change. There's also, I mean, I think there is a Trigicon, but that's like $600 or some shit. So, I mean, there's different tiers to this stuff. Like with everything, you can spend basically as much money as you want. I just want to implore you guys to explore your options and try to avoid Cyelee, you know, $150 optics, because you're not really going to say, like, after a while, even if it's not the emitter, even if it's not the glass, something's going to break and you're going to have to end up getting a quality optic anyway. So, yeah. That's basically my video, and I've been planning it for a year since I bought this optic, so it's kind of nice to be vindicated. But I appreciate you guys watching till the end. Like I said, podcast, merch, Instagram, a bunch of videos. Hope you guys enjoyed the B-roll. If you guys want to see, you know, more short form content like some of the shorts that are on my YouTube channel, check out my Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, check out the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in another one. Adios.